There are so many wonderful benefits that come from making your own homemade products, especially beauty products. And that's because the commercial cosmetic industry tends to use a lot of harmful chemicals, and they also use some animal testing and some pretty unethical marketing strategies that cultivate insecurity in order to sell their products. They basically make money by coming up with new product ideas and finding ways to convince us that we need them. And that's a pretty typical feature of the whole commercial consumer-based system. The problem with cosmetics is that we use these products on a really regular basis, so if they don't put our well-being above profit margins, we can get some pretty nasty chemicals into our day-to-day lives. And even one product can contain a whole array of nasty chemicals and effects, and consumers aren't warned about these, and I don't think any consumers would think it's worth it to get shinier hair when you're being exposed to multiple carcinogens and an increased likelihood of getting cancer. And the thing is that these bad chemicals aren't just bad chemicals for our hair or bad chemicals for our scalp or for our whole bodies once they get absorbed into our systems, but they're also bad chemicals for the environment once they get washed down the drain and they get into local water bodies and into the ocean, and there they affect a whole array of different organisms and ecosystems. So the nastiest chemicals to look out for in different commercial hair care products are things like sodium lauryl sulfate, which is a toxic compound and can be a deadly carcinogen when mixed with other chemicals. Parabens, which are carcinogenic. Isopropyl alcohol has links to chemical headaches, depression, and it kills positive internal microbes. PPD is a toxic compound and impacts our immune systems. DEA, MEA, and TEA are all endocrine disruptors. Propylene glycol is highlighted by the United States Environmental Protection Agency as being one of the top 10 hair care ingredients that can damage your health, particularly kidney and liver damage. Isobutene is another nasty chemical found in a lot of hair care products. Alkyl phenols are endocrine disruptors, and 1,4-dioxane is a carcinogen known to cause breast cancer and commonly found in shampoos. So avoiding these chemicals on ingredients lists is the best way to avoid the worst of commercially made hair care products. And there are some pretty horrendous ones out there, that's for sure. But there are also some great options as well. There are increasingly some brands that are becoming really ethical and sustainable and considerate in the way they're produced. And they're really fighting an uphill battle when there are so many products that are mass produced and cheap and people don't know the difference. So if you do want to buy your own products rather than make them, look out for those that are sustainably produced, because it's supporting a better system and it's just a really good thing to do. I will do a video sometime in the near future that looks at some really awesome options for different products, different brands that are great to support if you do want to buy your own products. But if you want to make your products instead, there are lots of wonderful benefits: being able to personalise them, know exactly what goes in them, being able to make them ethical, avoid animal testing. One benefit that I'm really enjoying at the moment is the wastelessness of it, being able to recycle glass containers and bottles rather than buy things that have plastic packaging, and that's because of my World Wildlife Fund 55-day challenge at the moment that I'm going 55 days without waste. And thank you so much to those of you who have donated and started getting involved with the challenge. I'm looking forward to sending some bracelets out to you guys in the coming weeks. It means a lot that you guys have started getting involved, and if any of you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link it below. But in terms of making your own hair care products, there are so many options now. You can just go onto Google and type something in and recipes will come up. But these are kind of the essentials that I use. I don't find that I need anything more than this. If you have average hair and you don't have any really specific requirements, these are pretty much all you should need. There's a shampoo, a conditioner, a leave-in hair oil, and a dry shampoo and a hair rinse. And I find that they work really well for me, so I hope they're useful to you as well. To start with the shampoo, it contains liquid castile soap, coconut milk, bentonite clay, lavender oil, rosemary oil, vitamin E oil, and optionally some xanthan gum as well. I'm mixing together 1/4 cup of liquid castile soap, 1/4 cup of coconut milk, which is nice and nourishing, a teaspoon of bentonite clay, which is great for hair care, 20 drops of lavender and rosemary essential oils, which are great for your scalp, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vitamin E oil, which is preservative and restorative. You can also optionally add 3/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum and whisk this into the mixture, and that will help to thicken it up. Mix this up and pour it into a bottle, and you can store this in the bathroom, but if you are worried about the coconut milk going off, you can pour the mixture into a mould and put them in the freezer, and you can just pop one out every time you go to have a shower, and that will last for a long period of time without needing to worry about it. For the conditioner, I'm using shea butter, cocoa butter, almond oil, vitamin E oil, and lavender and frankincense oils. I'm firstly putting 2 tablespoons of shea butter into a bowl, adding 2 tablespoons of cocoa butter, 1 teaspoon of almond oil, half a teaspoon of vitamin E oil, and 20 drops of lavender and frankincense oils. And then I'm melting this over a bowl of warm water or hot water and allowing it to melt, taking it off the heat and allowing it to cool to room temperature before whipping it up. And whipping it just allows some air to get in there, it makes it more manageable to use. And I take a small amount of it and rub it through the lengths of my hair before washing it out a few minutes later. Next, for the apple cider vinegar rinse, which is great to remove excess residues and oils, I use some raw apple cider vinegar, some water and essential oils. I put 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar into a container, half a cup of water, and 5 drops of essential oil to help with the smell and have various hair benefits. Lavender oil is great for scalp health. And then I just mix that together, and when I'm in the shower after shampooing I tend to pour it through my hair from the scalp down the length of my hair, leave it in for a few minutes before washing it out. It leaves your hair nice and shiny and healthy. It's great. For the leave-in hair oil, I use jojoba oil, sesame seed oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil and lavender oil. I put 4 teaspoons of jojoba oil into a container. It's non-oily and moisturising. Into that I add 2 teaspoons of sesame seed oil. This protects from UV, conditions and adds shine. Then 1 teaspoon of olive oil, it's nourishing and regenerative. 1 teaspoon of grapeseed oil, it contains vitamin C and linoleic acid which promotes hair repair. And then 10 drops of lavender oil, which is great for the scalp and it's a great smell as well. I mix that together and I just put a small amount in the palm of my hand or in my fingertips and rub it through the lower portion of my hair, especially my tips, and keeps your hair nice and moisturised and shiny as well. And then lastly, for dry shampoo, this is great. It's a simple recipe. I've got it up on my channel already. I use cornstarch, cocoa, rosemary oil and cinnamon and turmeric spices. I mix together 4 teaspoons of cornstarch, which absorbs the oils, 2 teaspoons of cocoa, which takes away the graining effect, and 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and turmeric spices. And this just helps with the colour as well as having various positive effects for your hair and scalp. 5 drops of rosemary oil, which promotes hair growth, soothes scalp, helps with dandruff. And once that's mixed together, then I put it into a shaker container and shake some of it into my scalp and under the layers of my hair and brush it through, and that takes out any excess oils. So that's how I make the natural hair care products that I use. And in terms of the ingredients, I often buy them affordably online at iherb.com. I will link any useful links to those products below. And the individual ingredients do come packaged, but I'm using them over a course of 1 year or 2 years instead of buying pre-packaged shampoos and conditioners every couple of weeks. So it definitely works out better, and often you can find glass bottles and things that contain these ingredients, which is really great. So it can really be easy to enjoy a better way of doing things, and I hope you found this video useful.